Welcome back to Small Time Critics. My name is Mohammed Hashi, and I'm with
Translucent.
Let's Go. You know what I'm saying? This guy's he's playing injured right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we're gonna power through. You know what I mean? As you can see from the thumbnail, we are talking about one of the biggest films and most anticipated films in the last, I want to say 2 years.
Okay.
I definitely want to say 2 years because of the size and the scope of the film. We are talking about Mission Impossible. The final reckoning. And I'm saying, yeah. And we're going to talk about the finality and how final it really is. But before we do that, please do all that good stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you're feeling. And we are going to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to start by saying that I think at the start of the year, and even as recently as maybe a couple of months ago, I will say I am looking forward to this film. I am locked in. I am ready. I'm going to rewatch the franchise. I'm going to do all sorts of stuff like that, which I did. And watching the film, in about probably the first 10 minutes, the first 10 minutes, bro, I was
What? You was
not
out
feeling. I wasn't out of it per se, but I was fearing for the worst. And I looked towards you, bro.
I mean, we looked at each other.
We looked at each other and we were like, oof, a bit dicey.
Yeah.
And overall, the set pieces in this film, which are outstanding, breathtaking at times. There's one particular one which we'll discuss a bit later on, which is actually incredible. Because I watched it, I've kind of watched a bit of it, featurette about it and all that kind of stuff, how they did it all and all sorts. And it's even more impressive in that regard. But overall, too long, number one, too long. And to the point too long where it didn't really justify the runtime, in my opinion. And the editing was confounding at times. Lauren Balfe, who has been the composer for the last two films, wasn't involved in this film, and I could feel it. I don't know about you. And I just feel story-wise, it was way more antiquated, and it definitely felt like the film was kind of built around the stunts instead of a film built around story for me. Many scenes almost felt like cutscenes from a game. That was your comment that you said about halfway into the film, which is hilarious. But yeah, overall, it's just largely just kind of disappointed and wanted the film to be way more than it is. Don't get me wrong, this is better than a lot of slop that we've seen this year. You know what I mean? But again, how much of a compliment is that, really? I think Tom Cruise, he's Tom Cruising, you know what I mean, in this film.
Yeah.
And he put so much of himself onto the screen in regards to kind of how much he risked his life, how much he put into this, how much he put into the promotion in comparison to the film that just came beforehand, which was Dead Reckoning. So yeah, I've talked a lot, bro. So I want you to kind of give us your thoughts as well.
My initial thoughts are I didn't actually walk in there expecting anything. I'm not even a huge fan of the franchise. I think I've told you already, my favorite one is the second film, only because of the actual introduction to the start of the film, innit?
Which is so funny because that's universally the lowest rated one.
That's just the one that I remember the best, innit? That was probably my favorite one. And then to be fair with you, I kind of lost love for Mission Impossible after the third one. And there was only one
even though they went to Japan.
Yeah.
They went to Tokyo.
The one, well, literally, yeah. No, the one that kind of got me back into it was the one that had Henry Cavill.
Oh yeah, Fallout, yeah.
Is that a Japan one?
No.
Oh.
Fallout, the Japan one is Mission Impossible 3. And I think it wasn't Japan. I think it was actually Osaka.
Okay, cool. Which is also Japan.
Yeah, but I'm saying it was Japan, sorry. It wasn't Tokyo. That's what I should have said.
Yeah. So Fallout is probably when I kind of got interested again. And then shortly after that, I don't know, what was after Fallout?
After Fallout was Dead Reckoning.
Was Dead Reckoning?
Yeah, it was Dead Reckoning.
And that's when I lost it. That's when I was like, all right, cool, back to this. I didn't think that was even a terrible film like that. I just found it a bit it's all right, cool. I liked Haley
Atwell.
Haley Atwell. I don't want to get confused with the other Haley.
Haley Steinfeld.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Both lovely people.
Yep.
And yeah, so I don't know. Dead Reckoning wasn't really up my vibe. Then I thought when Final Reckoning was coming out or announced, I wasn't really thinking, all right, did that even need a part 2 because I felt like, again, we was getting to a moment where it just became back to a stunt thing because that massive stunt piece that he does with the bike when he's going off the the cliff itself, the whole movie feels like, the whole promotion felt like it was all about that.
Yep.
So when it became that, I had a big idea in my mind that, all right, cool, the next one's just going to be another big set piece. There's going to be another bigger set piece to kind of counter effect that one.
Yep.
And then lucky me, I walk into that film and there was like 3-4 big massive set pieces that technically he might as well just made a documentary about how he was going to do it instead of actually making a film, because that's what he seems to care about when he made this movie, that big set piece.
Yeah.
There's I don't want to spoil it in it, but there's obviously the one you're talking about, which is the final one.
Yep.
The final recording. And then obviously my actual favorite piece in the film was one underwater, which
I can't believe that.
Can be seen in the trailers.
That's the one that's the one I hate the most, which is hilarious.
But yeah, film is way too long.
Yes.
Way too long. 3 hours, 2 hours, 50 minutes. Let me not misquote Mr. Cruz. But yeah, 3 hours, bro. I've said it already. 3 hours needs to be for an epic. This ain't that. It has to be for an epic. It needs to be a Lord of the Rings. It needs to be, unfortunately, a superhero movie if you want to be coming up with these kind of hours.
What about Killers of the Flower Moon?
I was literally about to drop something like that.
Yeah.
I was literally going to say a Scorsese piece.
Yes.
A Nolan piece.
Yes.
Maybe besides Tenet. But you know what I'm saying? Something like that I can allow the freedom to stretch its legs for the story. And this film just was unnecessary. Didn't need it.
Cool. Appreciate that, bro. All right, let's get into spoilers. Now, I don't know how much you can actually spoil this film, considering obviously you kind of know the formula of a Mission Impossible film by now. But for me, this film was built as the final chapter,
the last movie, innit?
Of a huge and storied franchise. The fact that the word, the film has the word final in the title was, for me, hopefully going to be a kind of giveaway to the fact that Tom Cruise is going to give the mantle of Mission Impossible to someone else.
Okay, cool. I was thinking, where are you going with that? Because I think, do you mean that's the end of the franchise? Because you got The Last Jedi, and then, you know what I mean? Boom.
Again, let's not talk about the atrocities that happened there, because, you know, as a Star Wars fan, you know what I mean? Thankfully, we have other great stuff that we can talk about soon. But in regards to this film...
No, sorry.
Nah, it's another film that begins with... Another kind of title that begins with A, and not that one. But anyway... So I was hoping that they'll bring in like a Glenn Powell, you know what I mean, from backstage, and say, "Yo, he's a new Ethan Hunt" or something like that.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen, and I felt like this film was kind of basically going back into the history of the franchise. We went back to freaking Mission Impossible 1. We literally brought back a character from Mission Impossible 1, and basically went into his story, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
From the guy that he took the kind of the knock list at Langley, in the Langley kind of heist scene in Mission Impossible 1, and for him to be now in this kind of like listening station in the middle of like the Bering Sea, wherever it was, in the middle of nowhere.
It was Snow Dogs.
Snow Dog. It was just like, it was kind of just bizarre. It really was bizarre. Or like when he came on screen, you're thinking, oh my goodness, like they're just doing the greatest hits here. And I felt like that was one thing, but I felt they really bungled Ving Rhames, Luther's kind of like basically his farewell. For him to be iced out like that.
From the beginning,
yes, that did not work for me at all, if I'm being brutally honest with you. Because even the way they edited it, like, basically, Gabriel, the antagonist, or one of the antagonists, because AI is the other one.
Yeah.
Basically, kind of like locks him away.
Fucking Ultron, isn't it?
Yeah. He locks him away, then like arms a bomb, and then when Tom comes, we get a flashback to him, to how he kind of locked him. It was just very confusing.
I didn't even know he was dead until at the end.
It was just very confusing. Obviously, him saying, "All right, once I defuse this, the nuclear part will not be a factor. It will just be a huge explosion. But that means I have to sacrifice myself." And it was just very, very strange. Very, very strange, man. And it just made no sense. And even the start bit, like the way the scenes were cut, there's some people that have said like the editing for this was decent. Like for me, it was one of the weakest parts of the film.
I'm seeing people giving this film 4.5 stars on Letterboxd, 5 stars on Letterboxd.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I'm so confused because I think, especially right now, we've had some great movies or we've had maybe 2 great movies, I can say. Sinners being one of them.
And Thunderbolts.
Yeah. And those are 2 movies that are edited brilliantly. Those are 2 movies that the score is great, acting is fantastic, everything about it, the dialogue is great. And even when I think of Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, I don't know if there... Actually, no, there was some... Oh, no, I do remember this now. There was a lot of weird dialogue. It felt like... I said it I remember saying it with Katie O'Brien, because there's a scene where they're like underwater in a submarine before the scene that I do like, which is the underwater solo heist kind of thing. There's a scene where you've got 3 characters who have individual dialogue, but technically it feels like that conversation could have come from all one person, if that makes sense. Yeah. And it's all chopping around to 3 different people trying to talk to Tom Cruise, and it just doesn't make any sense.
The film just felt
feel natural.
I totally agree. The film just felt like an exposition exercise.
Yeah, like every time they're telling you
something,
telling you everything about whatever it is. Oh yeah, that's the key that hacks into that was made in.
You only have this amount of time to do.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, no shit, Sherlock. Let's find out. You know what I'm saying?
And again, for me, if exposition needs to happen, there's different creative ways you can do it. Like for me, I always think that the best kind of exposition, and I go back to one of the greatest screenwriters and someone who I've interviewed, Tony Gilroy. His exposition is done in action. So people are doing things while they are explaining something. So they're getting ready, or they are solving a problem, or they're running, or something kind of thing. I think another great kind of use of exposition, and a great way where exposition is done right, is anime. Anime usually does exposition while a character is in motion or in movement or going somewhere. And it kind of, again, it is internal in their mind usually. Anime
just gives you a bit more flexibility because anime, that's
I guess so, but it does it in a very, very interesting and kind of visually dynamic way, which I appreciate. Whereas this, people are sitting or standing, and it's just shot, reverse shot, reverse shot kind of thing. It's very annoying. Very annoying.
That scene where you've got Angela Bassett, and then they're like in the little boardroom, and again, a lot of this film, it feels like 3 or 4 different types of movies that you're watching. Because this scene in particular looks so random and so out of that, like that it didn't feel like it was even shot for this film. You know what I'm saying? And they're just all in this one room. Everyone's sweating buckets, which I have no idea why. Who's the makeup artist? Why was he not sorting that out? Or they not sorting that out? That was mad. Everyone's hot. Or I didn't know if that was trying to give that kind of intensity that it's a hot room. We're having hot conversations. But anyways.
That still makes no sense.
I'm trying to give them a leeway.
I know.
But that moment there just didn't make any sense for me as well. The movie is so random. So random. It's only the set pieces that really speak to me. And it's like, again, I have this problem all the time. When a movie has too many quote unquote stars in the movie, everyone needs to have the 20 minutes of shine, the 20 minutes of fame, because obviously getting paid to have it. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, sometimes you're concentrating too much on this one individual that you're not even being able to tell a story or finish another story that you just started telling. You know what I'm saying? And that was my biggest problem with the movie, because I forgot this guy's name, man.
I've got you.
I'm talking about the light skin bro. He did like TikToks and all that kind of stuff. He's an actor. He was in Top Gun.
As part light skin guy.
He was in.
Oh yeah, yes. I don't know his name.
I think he was.
He was in Top Gun, 100%.
Yeah, but did I say he did TikTok? I think he was doing Vine, bro. He became famous of that.
I don't think so. No. You're thinking of King Batch, because he looks a lot like King Batch.
Brother, check it.
I'll check it.
Check it, bro. Check it.
Okay.
You think I'm joking? We're gonna find out right now if I'm wrong or not. Tell me his filmography.
Greg Tarzan Davis.
Greg Tarzan Davis.
No, this guy, he's been an actor for a while, bro.
You're bugging.
He's been on Grey's Anatomy, bro.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Let me find it right now. Hold on.
He's been on Grey's Anatomy.
What's his name? Greg Tarzan Davis.
Greg Tarzan Davis. What a name, by the way.
Greg Tarzan.
I'm never going to forget that.
Yeah, bro. He used to do Vines. That was his thing.
Fair enough.
He did Vine.
Fair enough.
I'm not saying that's how he got scouted into being an actor.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But that was like his call, isn't it? But anyways, he's great. He was good in Top Gun.
Yeah.
And I felt like this story, especially with his introduction with Pom in the last one, I felt like there's still a story there that needs to kind of be unfolded, because obviously we're now getting into the second part of it, innit?
Yeah.
The part 2 of it. And I felt like his arc was so not finished.
Okay.
There was just more to be said. And even Pom's character, more to be said about her vengeance, about wanting to get her get back basically against Gabriel, all this kind of stuff. And so many people hate Gabriel, but ultimately there's only one person that was allowed to be able to do that. I don't think anyone really had the moment or had moment to give a great piece of dialogue or anything like that. It all felt like everything that was best was kept for Tom Cruise's character.
Yeah. Do you know what's hilarious if you think about it? This movie was meant to be one film. You know what I'm saying? With Dead Reckoning, and it's just hilarious. That was never going to be able to happen.
Yeah,
it's such an antiquated.
No, if this was his idea, I want to have 7 massive set pieces.
And like you said, like you have all these kind of great actors saying like 1.7 lines each.
Like what's his face? What's my man's name?
Tremel Tillman.
Tremel Tillman.
Yeah, outstanding actor, and I think with what he was given, he knocked it out of the park.
But you know, it's funny when he came on the screen.
Yeah,
the whole cinema was like, "Oh my god, it's him!" That kind of thing. Because the Severance character, Mr. Milchick.
Yes,
and it's like you just said, he made great use of his one-liners. You know what I'm saying? His delivery was on point throughout the whole film.
And I have to admit, even I think
Waddington.
No, Waddington.
Anna
Waddington. I think her name is Anna Waddington. She was also great as well. I don't
remember that bit. I was asleep.
You kind of nodded off, didn't you, during that period of time?
Yeah, when Ultron was talking, I just said, "Oh, I'm giving up."
Ultron.
Yeah, that AI, bro.
Sorry, Hannah Waddington. She was good in terms of like when she came onto screen. Again, great brand recognition. A lot of woo-hoo from the
what about Nick Offerman.
Nick Offerman, again, a very strange kind of arc for him. He takes a gun off a officer, and you're thinking, is he going to do something to the president? And then he ends up shooting someone who was gonna assassinate the president. Again, that would have been interesting to kind of explore that a lot more, but we had no time to do so.
This is what I was trying to say. The film just felt so weird. Like, there's no point having so many like big characters anyway. Because obviously, I'm not saying that because they how do I explain it? They didn't feel like they were just cameos to a movie because of how big the actor is and because of how big that the kind of like the start, like it felt like they were, okay, this person's about to have there's something about this character, about to have a big moment.
Triz, Holt McElhenney, Charles Purnell, like these are great actors, man. You know what I mean? Like, and they didn't have they barely did anything in the film.
But it's
crazy.
Why be in the movie then?
Simon Pegg barely did anything in this film. You know what I mean?
He barely did anything, but he was in it.
He was in it. Even Hayley Atwell, like she did stuff, but she was just mostly just there.
That was another.
Just looking at Tom Cruise in the that's mostly what she was doing in the film.
That was a random one as well, bro. I can't lie, bro. This movie, he should have kept it, gone back to the basics, keep it a small team.
Yeah.
How the other ones have worked so well.
Yep.
Him, Luther, I don't know,
Simon
Pegg's
Pegg
character.
Yeah, I mean,
and then obviously the one, whatever it is, love interest or whatever.
Which he always has,
Do you know what I'm saying? In the movie, that kind of thing. And then make a story around that. If you want to bring back Gabriel, fair enough. Yeah. But make it tighter. Because 3 hours, unnecessary.
Yeah. Pardon the pun, before we land this plane and this review, I definitely just want to go into just how terrible an arc the antagonists of the film had. Both of the antagonists.
Oh, Mr.
Curly Moustache. Wow. It was ridiculous because the character of Gabriel turned from basically a very stoic kind of antagonist who was very kind of like matter of fact in regards to kind of his kind of worldview and that this AI thing is the future, to basically becoming huzzah, ha ha ha, kind of like evil laugh kind of antagonist. You know what I mean? He's the epitome of evil. It just made no sense. Him just laughing and him just enjoying, you know what I mean? Like hurting people and all this kind of stuff. Like, it was so weird. And it happened about halfway through the film.
Bro, something would happen and he just puts out the shutters. You're looking for me, Mr. Good. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just so random, bro. And even when they were doing the plane dogfight, the big scene, like
he's laughing. He's kind of like going around, he's like, you just see him just laughing and cackling, bro.
Like when he's flying his plane,
it's ridiculous, it's so random.
Bro, that movie's random, bro. I don't know what happened. I don't know how many people worked in it, like in terms of like writing the scripts.
Yeah.
How many? I don't know if there was a change of director midway or what. Was there?
No. But the thing is, like even the other antagonist, the AI, now that became so tedious and so ridiculous, and even plotting wise, why would she be at DEFCON 3 when so many different countries in the world have lost capability of their nuclear weapons? You should be at DEFCON 1 straight away.
Yeah.
That made no sense. And how does this ticking clock kind of thing? And I guess it's just there to be a facet in the movie kind of thing. But it was just ridiculous. Why just why completely decimate a whole kind of major city in America? For what reason? That made no real sense if you really, really think about it.
I can't lie.
Just ridiculous. And the whole AI and the kind of like conversation that basically Ethan Hunt and the AI
when
had.
He put the hat on, it went cerebral.
It was ridiculous.
Bro, I can't lie, bro.
It was ridiculous, man.
But you're saying that this is better than some of the slop from this year.
The reason why I say that is because you can watch this film and enjoy the set pieces. You can, because they are good. Like the submarine one, that wasn't really great for me personally. But so many people enjoyed it to a level like you did. And I think the final set piece, the airplane dogfight with the red and the blue plane, fixed wing planes, was outstanding. I was literally on the edge of my seat thinking the whole time, how the hell did they do this? There's shots where the only person in sight is Tom Cruise, and it's quite literally just him on board with just obviously cameras. That's crazy. Like he had to, if you deep it, Tom Cruise had to light that scene. He had to act in that scene while also literally like flying a plane at the same time, all at the same time. It's actually crazy when you deep it.
I mean, the brother is nothing less but committed, bro, for the art form. So, you know.
You have to give up. That is a scene, that kind of sequence will be remembered for the rest of film history. No matter what you feel about the film. That scene will be replayed in compilations throughout the rest of the annals of time, no doubt.
Do you think it deserved a 7-minute standing ovation?
Okay, that's a separate conversation for another day, because again, that's just like, you know what I mean, that's industry rubbish, blah blah blah, you know what I mean, all that kind of skullduggery. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to get into that right now. That's politics. Let's keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because again, 12 minutes and above is when a film is actually decent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the Richard Linklater film about French cinema, where that got like I think a 14-15 minute standing ovation, and Quentin Tarantino's going freaking crazy. You know what I mean? Just clapping like a madman. And so I think that shows you how good a film when my man is clapping like a crazy person. But again, that's a separate conversation for another day. This film is at best mid, at best. And for people who are in good conscience saying that this is a good film, you know what I mean? Go with God. But again, if you're being subjective and being honest, you know what I mean? And I'm someone who loves this franchise with every fabric of their being. I've done multiple kind of videos, you know what I mean, on my social media about how much I was looking forward to this, going into kind of the things which I loved about this film franchise. But again, I have to be honest and I have to be upfront and say this wasn't what I wanted it to be. But you know what I mean? Again, hopefully we'll see more of these kind of more films from this kind of franchise, because there's a very open ending to this film, and Tom Cruise will 100% be back. All 100% be back. And I'm very interested to see how much money this makes and when the next one will be as well. But yeah. Any final thoughts, bro, before we sign off?
Final thoughts. Won't be watching it again. I do love Tom Cruise though. Yeah. I think he's great.
I think he's great for cinema.
I was literally about to say that. I think he's great for cinema, literally.
And what he is, the tenets that he is kind of communicating on the press tour about going to cinema, about respecting art, loving art, watching movies, continuing this great tradition of going to the cinema, of watching films and supporting.
1 movie a day, he says.
Bro, that's something I already do. You know what I mean? A movie a day keeps the doctor away. That's what I say. That's what I say. I couldn't watch this. Bro. But thankfully, there's millions of films so you can watch a day. Anyway, for me, I want there to be a fresh start to the franchise, man. I need new blood. That's what I need as well. Yeah, I need something different.
I think it'd be time for that. I think I'm sure he'll grandfather himself into the Luther role now that it's vacant. Something like that. Not that he can do what Luther does, but you know what I mean? I'm sure he'll some sort of miraculous.
We need Glenn Powell. Let's be real. It's going to be Glenn Powell. There's no one else that is going to take on the franchise.
Probably. Yeah,
it's going to probably be Glenn. All right. Triz, STC score. Give us your score. Let's go.
Out of 10, I'm going to probably say 4.5.
Oh, that's... Whew.
Bro, I have to be honest. Bro, I would watch it again, bro.
That is low, bro. Wow, that is...
It's not my kind of movie. Bro. And I like Mission Impossible, but this ain't the one for me. This ain't the mission for me.
4.5 is basically you saying it's not watchable.
Bro, if it's my mission I choose not to accept it. So
Fair enough. I'm gonna give this a 6. Now, this was not great by any means, but there are certain sequences, and the film is made expertly in many different facets. So I have to give it a 6. The film is watchable. I can watch the film. You know what I mean? Will I recommend it? I would recommend it if someone really loves to see wonderful set pieces in films, because there are some great set pieces in the film and great fight scenes in the film as well. But is it going to be in the canon of the best films of this year? No. No. So we'll give it a 6. You know what I mean? Out of respect to, you know what I mean, our Lord and Savior, you know what I mean, Tom Cruise in many people's eyes.
yeah,
But yeah, that's kind of where I am with it. But yeah.
cool, man. Can't wait to watch Mission Impossible, the final reckoning.
I wonder what title that's going to be. It's going to be like one more rodeo. Who knows? Or something crazy like that.
The Last Dance, bro.
The last, probably when they might do something like that. But
Like
the last film to be called that was horrifically bad. So hopefully they don't do that. But yeah. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think in the comment section below. And I'm very interested to see where this ranks in many people's eyes in the franchise, where this film falls. It's going to probably be in the lower half. Let's be real.
Maybe, but people do like it.
Some people like it. Yeah, I mean, but we'll see. But yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what you're feeling. And we will see you on the next one. Peace.